Hello guys, welcome back to Between the Ropes TV. Now, the big card, Josh Warrington, Alberto Lopez, obviously matchroom made, an afternoon, evening, party atmosphere with the football. The football did not go our way. That's annoying, but sadly neither did the main event, so not a great day for English sport. Josh Warrington versus Alberto Lopez. Guys, before we get into this one, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comment section what you think. Now we'll get straight into this one. Josh Warrington coming into this, it feels a bit deja vu, doesn't it? Because with the first fight with Maurizio Lara, it was get through this, get that ring rust off, big fights on the horizon. And that was definitely the same narrative for this fight. And unfortunately, the same results happened. Josh Warrington's lost on a majority decision. And I think when you all things equal, you know, you're hearing people say on social media, Warrington did enough to just nick it. Some are saying a draw, others are saying Lopez wide. 115, 113. We know those sorts of scores can go either way. We know that. But for me personally, I thought Warrington did just do enough. But I can also definitely see a case for where Lopez gets the nod. Was very close. But for me, just if you're a challenger coming into a world champion's backyard, you've got to rip that title away. And Lopez did that in the early stages, but definitely as the fight wore on, Josh Warrington was busier. And yeah, for me, he just nicked it, but didn't officially. Doesn't matter really what we think. So Josh Warrington going into this, you're going to have to look at the start because Alberto Lopez definitely won the first two rounds and really the third and fourth as well. Possibly, you know, it probably leaned towards him. So straight off the bat, Warrington gave himself an uphill mountain to climb. As the fight wore on, as I said, Warrington then was more active. He did do enough. And I just want a little side note because Lopez is a great fighter, but he definitely leaves his chin up high. He's there to be hit. So if I was like Lee Wood now, I'd be like Eddie and get me that Lopez fight because I'll win that. Because with Lee Wood's power and Lopez's chin just hanging there ready to be hit, Lee Wood's going to stop him and stop him in good fashion. But he is very good, and Lopez is powerful himself. You could see he was hitting Josh Warrington, and Warrington was having to think about things. So it's one of them. But I didn't like from Lopez. Obviously, he made a meal in the second round. Obviously, many accusations, particularly lots of Kiko Martinez. Lara's also voiced it around Josh Warrington's use of the head. And in the second round, it was blatantly accidental. Clash of heads. And just Lopez made an absolute meal of it, screaming, turned his back, walked off. And I don't like to see that. I appreciate it's a foul, but any fool could see that it was completely accidental. So I don't like to see that from Lopez. And to be honest, various things at different points in the fight. I can't say I'm a big fan of Lopez. And I'm not I like Josh Warrington, but I'm not sat here as a biased, diehard Josh Warrington fan saying that either. I just think Lopez at times it was a bit frustrating. But we are where we are. You know, Josh Warrington's lost. Alberto Lopez takes that IBF featherweight title back to Top Rank. And it's just completely wide open, this featherweight division. If you check out our Michael Conlan, Kareem Guerfi reaction, I've called for that fight next. Conlan and Warrington both need that big win. And I know the Top Rank links, obviously, Conlan may be looking to fight Lopez straight away. But for me, he's not really done enough after that Lee Wood loss. He's had two comeback fights against decent opposition, but certainly not world level. So I'd like to see Conlan in with Warrington. I think the winner is propelled straight towards a world title fight or big fight, certainly. And it's interesting for the fans and a good payday for both. So let me know in the comment section what you think's next. I also wouldn't be too surprised if we saw Warrington retire because he's never quite clinched the unifications. He's never done the away days. It's hard for him to do the away days now because other than Lara, there isn't a narrative or a title at stake for him to earn a fight over in America. So I wouldn't be too shocked. But his performance wasn't of a finished fight for me. It was just a slow start that's ultimately been his undoing. But guys, let us know in the comment section what you think on this fight and what you'd like to see next. Moving down the card slightly, Ebony Bridges versus Shannon O'Connell. Now, I've been outspoken over the since we started this channel. I'm not a big fan of Ebony Bridges underwear at the weigh-ins. I think it undoes a lot of the good work the likes of Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and even now on Sky, the prospects coming through, Lauren Price, Caroline Dubois, Caris Artinstall. They're making women's boxing not just respectable, but they're making it half the time. They're giving us the fights that we want to see, and the men aren't. So they're really growing it. Then you see Ebony Bridges in less and less lingerie with each passing fight. She used this week's weigh-in as a chance to promote her OnlyFans announcement, like any of us actually give a shit. And it's just annoying because she's not great technically, but she's clearly powerful because she was rocked in the first round and you could see her legs stiffen. She tried to play it down post-fight, but you couldn't argue with it. Then she knocked Shannon O'Connell down herself in the third round. And then from then on, Shannon O'Connell, in fairness, she showed heart, but she took a beating. And Ebony Bridges did get the stoppage when it was waved off. But I just think now she's almost put herself down a rabbit hole because pervy men will always tune in to watch her. However, boxing fans, I mean, our group chat last night while it was on was popping, and it was like, we're all just slagging her off, to be totally honest. So it's tough because it's hard to give her the credit when women's boxing is on such a growth trajectory and she's sort of going against it. I understand why she's doing it because technically she's probably not good enough. However, now she's a world champion, she's defended it. I would like to see actually move away from it a little bit. Instead, she's trying to get hashtag skanky stripper going. Probably a different row, and yeah, I'm not a fan of it. We'll leave it there. But I'd like to see her a bit more active. You know, she's not fought for 9 months, so I'd like to see her a bit more active, defend that world title a little bit more, because we do see that generally with the women. You know, look at Natasha Jonas this year, 3 world title fights, 3 big wins. So interesting to see what's come next from her. The third fight post-football, and apologies, guys, you can probably hear my throat is not great, but Felix Cash against Neves, 8-rounder. It was just a flat performance, to be totally honest, from Felix Cash. And I'm a big Felix Cash fan, but you could tell he'd been out the ring since February. And he said that himself post-fight, but he's got rid of that. Neves was limited opposition, single shots. He was trying to slip stuff, but lacking in terms of combinations. Cash was too open early on. He did tighten himself up, and as the fight wore on, he won comfortably. The scorecard was 77-75 off the ref, which I disagreed with. I thought it was wider than that. But it served a purpose because now, post-fight, we got a heated exchange between Amo Williams and Felix Cash, and we're going to get that fight next. And that is definitely one to be excited about. Hopefully, in Matchroom's announcement of their 2023 Q1 schedule, we get that. And I think it could be a headline show with the right undercard, personally. But guys, let us know in the comment section what you think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.